Hi friends, it's Amy. Welcome to my bookish life. Today I want to check in on my reading from July 16th through the 23rd. So let's get to it. I have, since my last check-in, finished 3 books, which brings me to 10 books for the month of July. And I'm currently in the middle of 3 books. So the first book that I finished was Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. I hope I pronounced that right. I'm not sure if I did. But this was the book that my library book club chose for our monthly book. It is a very interesting concept in that you are able to travel back in time, and you have until the coffee gets cold to drink the coffee and come back to the present. There's so many rules associated with being able to go back in time, and nothing about the present can change. It's a very interesting concept. It's translated from Japanese, and I think for me that was kind of difficult. I thought the premise was more interesting than the story, I guess, is kind of the problem that I had there. But I thought it was interesting. I thought it was fine, but it wasn't something that had my heart just like intensely needing to know what happened. So it's a nice short book. You can get through it quickly, but it is what it is. The next book that I finished was I'll Be Gone in the Dark by Michelle McNamara. And this book I was constantly making sure that I needed to keep listening to it. I listened to it on Everand, but I also had access to a digital ebook copy of it from KU, which is really a cool thing to be able to have the book in front of you because there are so many physical things shown as evidence. So this is a true crime novel. It is Michelle McNamara's memoir in how she became obsessed with true crime and essentially how she became obsessed with the Golden State Killer, which went by a ton of different names. She was not able to see the apprehension of the Golden State Killer. She died in her sleep before the book was finished. Her husband and researchers finished the book and promoted the book, and it was not much longer after the book was published that the Golden State Killer was actually apprehended. What I love about this, because she didn't know who the killer was, a lot of her focus was on the victims of the tragedies and the serial murders and sexual assaults and horrible atrocities that were committed by this person linked through DNA. And I was enthralled. Also freaked me out quite a bit. I'm not going to lie, but I was hooked on this story, captivated. I went down so many rabbit holes. Her writing is so narrative in how she wrote. It just was a beautifully written synopsis of the case as a whole, and I do highly recommend it. The third book that I finished was The Beach Trap by Allie Brady. This book, I didn't realize that Allie Brady was 2 people, so I think that is kind of cool. But this book I was actually reading for my scratch off to read a book that matches my outfit. says the cover, the color of the shirt you're wearing, but I was wearing multiple colors, and this matched one of the colors that was on the shirt that I was wearing when I picked the card. Of course, now I'm in a different spot filming. I'm back to my original spot filming, and my cards I did not put away. Amy! This is my latest scratch off card from my Books and Treasures box, and I am so glad that I finally got back to this book. And I actually realized that Before the Coffee Gets Cold matches the shirt that I was wearing probably a little bit better, but I really, really wanted to read this book, and I don't think my mind would let me realize that until I finished it. It is what it is. I loved this book. It was so cute. It was just a delightful little fluff of a book that actually hit some pretty deep topics, but also looked at happiness and how we become happy and how our lives and how our troubles actually mold who we are and help us be the person that we're supposed to be. And I really enjoyed it. I really liked how the two sisters changed and matured and grew through the whole experience. In The Beach Trap, I lost their names. Kat and Blake are, when they're 12 years old, they're at a camp, and Blake specifically chose this camp because her dad used to go there when he was a kid, and she wanted to feel close to him because he is essentially out of her life since her mother died. She was the result of an extramarital affair. And so Blake wanted to feel closer to her dad because she missed her dad, and so she went to this camp. And Kat and Blake become very good friends, and suddenly it becomes aware through circumstances that Kat and Blake are actually half sisters. They have the same dad, and it causes chaos. 15 years later, when their dad passes away, he leaves both of them the beach house, and the beach house is quite dilapidated, but Kate is very attached to it through nostalgia, and Blake is attached to the amount of money that she could get for her family that really needs the money. So it's really fabulous. It's just kind of out there, and just, it's definitely just fluff, but I really liked it a lot. I just really did. It was a lot of fun, perfect for summer, and yeah, I definitely would recommend it. And then I am in the middle of 3 books, as I said. The first book I am reading with Destiny, and that is The Secret Life of Bees by Sue Monk Kidd. This book is the book that has been on my TBR, my want to read list on Goodreads for the longest amount of time. And we are almost 30% through. We just started it yesterday. And the first chapter, let me tell you, is 35 pages long. The second chapter, pretty long. The third chapter, really short. There's no rhyme or reason to how this woman paces her chapters. There probably is. I just don't know what it is. But I am so surprised by how readable this is. I was very hesitant to pick it up because I cannot find the audiobook to it. I can't find it in a timely manner. I started reading it and it read so smooth, so beautifully. It's really actually very good. Lily is the main character, and she is taken care of after her mom dies by her dad, T-Ray, and kind of a housekeeper, but not really. I don't know what her title was, but she is a Black woman. Her name is Rosaline, and Rosaline makes a decision that I applaud her for, actually, but racists do not. And the result has Lily and Rosaline running away from home, and they are looking for a specific place that her mom may have visited when she was younger. And it's really a beautiful story so far. I'm really enjoying it. I can't wait to get my hands on the movie when we're done reading it. But I really, really have enjoyed this. Have been enjoying this so far. So, as I said, we're about 30% done. And I'm kind of excited to keep going because it's good. And then I am also reading The Length of a String by Alyssa Brent Wiseman. This book is my buzzword book for the month. Length is a unit of measurement. Somebody commented this on my comments to one of my videos. So thank you so much for putting this back on my radar. I purchased this book after, I think it was middle grade March at some point, after somebody raved about it, completely forgot about it. And this book is darling. I am loving it. It has a dual timeline-esque-ness to it. The main character is Amani. She is adopted and she has darker skin than the rest of her family. And the family that she was adopted into is Jewish. So she is Jewish. She goes to Hebrew school and she lives her life as a Jewish person. But more than anything, she just really wants to know about her biological family. And she feels really conflicted with that because she loves her mom and dad and her brother, who is also adopted, very much. But she just is very curious about where she came from and her history. When her great-grandma Anna passes away, she acquires the journal that her great-grandmother wrote in as she came from Luxembourg to America when she was 12 years old. And she learns a lot about the journey that her grandmother took. She learns about what it felt like for her to be in a new place without any family. So the 1940s World War II timeline is told through the journal of Anna, and then there's a narrative prose portion that is the present day. And it's very interesting, very cool. Amani is just a spunky character that loves her family, cares about her family, and wants to do the right thing. She has a best friend. I can't remember what her name is. It starts with an M. I can't remember, but she is very supportive and wants the best for her friend and is just really a delightful character. I really enjoy her. I really enjoy seeing their friendship, and it is it's really great, and it's a little bit harrowing because we find out some of the bad things that obviously were happening around the time of World War II, and that gives something to it that kind of tugs on your heart. But I love all of this and how it goes into the story, and I just constantly keep looking at the cover and looking at how each of these pictures goes to Anna's story, and I just think that's really cool how it all fits together and how everything on this cover comes together and tells the story. I just think that's really cool. So I am really enjoying this. I am about 55% done, 55% done, and I'm really, really enjoying it. It reads really fast, and it's good. It's good. I'm really liking it. And then the last book that I'm in the middle of, I am about 60% done with The Wedding Jinx by Becky Monson. And this is the second book in my Roll a Reading Prompt Challenge for this month. I needed a book that was a rom-com with a purple cover and 150 to 300 pages. And this is that. It has mostly purple on the cover. It's prominent. Purple is very prominent on this cover. It's the color of her dress, the color of the writing, and I am so loving this. It is hysterical. I am laughing as I'm reading this book all the time. It's so good. It is available on KU, but I do own it on my Kindle, and I highly, highly recommend Becky Monson as an author. She's just really good. She really has a voice where her characters just kind of talk to the reader, and I love that so, so much. And in this particular book, I just lost her name. Why can't I remember character names? It really bugs me. But the main character, Mila. Mila, there's two things you need to know about Mila. She has a thing for bosses, and also she's a wedding jinx. So she has ruined the last 7 weddings that she has stood up in. Never on purpose, absolutely accidentally, and she feels like she's just cursed. And then her boss, Grayson, is, I mean, she thinks it's more than just a boss thing. She really has a thing for him and likes him a lot. And then Nadia is her best friend. Nadia is getting married and wants her to stand up in the wedding. And her boss, Grayson, is the best man in the wedding. And it just causes a lot of conflict. It's just hilarious and crazy and just a wild romp. And I love it. I'm really, really, really liking it. So absolutely recommend there. So, hey, so you're going to see in that video that I got a book with golden letters on the cover. I was just talking about the fact that this book is so intimidating to me, The Stationery Shop by Marjan Kamali, because I've heard that it's so good and life-changing, and I want to read it, but I haven't yet. But look, golden letters. This is perfect. This is the perfect choice. So this is the book that I'm adding to my TBR for my latest TBR card. Those are the books that I'm reading. Let me know down in the comments what you've read, what you've been doing, what you've been up to. I love to hear from you. I love to chat with you down there. Commenting, liking, and subscribing really help my channel grow, and I so appreciate you for doing that. I hope you're finding something wonderful to read, and until next time, happy reading. Bye!